The Menendez Brothers case is one of the most notorious family murders in U.S. history. The cold-blooded killings of their parents in 1989 shocked the world, and after 34 years behind bars, Lyle and Erik Menendez may soon walk free. But how did we get here? And what led to the stunning developments that could see the brothers released on November 26, 2024? José Menendez was a high-powered music executive, and his wife, Kitty Menendez, a glamorous stay-at-home mother. To outsiders, they appeared to have the perfect life. A life of wealth, success, and privilege in Beverly Hills. But behind the luxurious facade lay deep family turmoil, marked by allegations of sexual abuse and manipulation. On the night of August 20th, 1989, the brothers claimed they had finally reached their breaking point. Armed with shotguns, they gunned down their parents in the family's den, leaving the once lavish Menendez household stained in tragedy. What followed was a legal circus. For 7 years, the case played out on national television, as the public was captivated by the image of two young men sobbing on the witness stand, claiming their father had subjected them to years of physical and sexual abuse. Their mother, Kitty, they claimed, had turned a blind eye, leaving them feeling hopeless and trapped. The media fed on the scandal, with the Menendez brothers cast as both tragic victims and greedy killers. In 1996, Lyle and Erik were convicted of first-degree murder. The prosecution argued that their actions were motivated by greed, pointing to the brothers' lavish spending after the murders. Luxury cars, Rolex watches, and even season tickets to the Lakers. The defense, however, insisted that the brothers were driven by fear. But in the end, the court sided with the prosecution, sentencing them to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For more than 30 years, Lyle and Erik have been fighting for their freedom, appealing their convictions, and continuing to claim that their father's abuse played a central role in the murders. Their lives in prison have been marked by significant personal changes. Lyle has become a leading figure in prison reform, working to create support groups for inmates who, like him, suffered sexual abuse. Erik, on the other hand, has turned to art, his paintings gaining attention from the media. But the brothers' fate could change in a matter of weeks. In May 2023, their legal team presented new evidence that may alter the course of the case. A letter, written by Erik Menendez in December 1988, was revealed. This letter, addressed to his cousin Andy Cano, outlined the ongoing abuse Erik claimed to be suffering at the hands of his father.
At times I wish I could talk to her about things, someday. Especially Dad and I, but the way she worships him and tells him everything, I'm so afraid she'll tell him whatever I say. I just can't risk it. Lyle got in a huge fight with her over why we couldn't spend Christmas with the rest of the family. And Mom freaked out and said if he wanted to go, he could go alone. I just don't know why she wants to hurt him like that. Lyle wanted to stay, but Dad wouldn't let him. So now I'm stuck here alone. I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I can't explain it. He's so overweight that I can't stand to see him. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up, thinking he might come in. I need to put it out of my mind. I know what you said before, but I'm afraid you just don't know Dad like I do. He's crazy. He's warned me 100 times about telling anyone, especially Lyle. Am I a serious wimpus? I don't know, I'll make it through this. I can handle it, Andy. I need to stop thinking about it.
These haunting words are now at the center of the case, as the Menendez brothers' legal team pushes for a resentencing. District Attorney George Gascón confirmed that his office is reviewing the new evidence, including the letter and testimony from Roy Rosello, a former member of the boy band Menudo. Rosello claims that he, too, was sexually abused by José Menendez while under contract with RCA Records, where José was an executive. Rosello's affidavit, filed in 2023, could lend credence to the brothers' long-standing claims of abuse. Rosello, now in his 50s, claims that José Menendez abused him multiple times when he was just a teenager, providing further evidence that José was a predatory figure in the Menendez household and beyond. If this testimony had been considered during the original trial, could it have changed the outcome? That's what Lyle and Erik's attorneys are banking on. Gascón has not yet committed to a decision, but his office is working around the clock, reviewing the evidence as the November 26 decision looms. The Menendez brothers could see their convictions reduced from first-degree murder to manslaughter, which would lead to their immediate release. Under California law, manslaughter carries a maximum sentence of 11 years. With the brothers already serving 34 years, a resentencing could mean freedom as soon as this November. Public opinion on the case has shifted dramatically in recent years. While the Menendez brothers were once seen as privileged, spoiled killers, a growing number of people, especially younger generations on social media, now see them as victims of abuse. The hashtag Free the Menendez Brothers has gained traction on platforms like TikTok, where thousands of users argue that the brothers acted out of fear, not greed. But it's not just social media that's driving this movement. Legal experts, mental health professionals, and victims' advocacy groups have begun re-examining the case in light of the new evidence. Some argue that the original trial failed to fully consider the psychological impact of the abuse the brothers endured. Others contend that, regardless of the abuse, the murders were premeditated and executed with chilling precision. The stakes are high. If Gascón decides to grant the brothers a resentencing, it could set a new precedent for cases involving long-term abuse. It could also spark intense public debate, with some celebrating the brothers' release and others decrying the decision as an injustice to the memory of José and Kitty Menendez. As we await Gascón's decision, one question looms. Will the Menendez brothers walk free, or will they spend the rest of their lives behind bars? Now, it's your turn to weigh in. Head over to our community post and let us know what you think Gascón will decide. Will he let the brothers walk free, or will they remain in prison? Vote now and stay tuned as this high-profile case takes yet another dramatic twist.